comfortable idol of control. Ask me how I know. And no one really wants to look at suffering, to look back. We think we're going to be turned into a pillar of salt for it. Didn't that Bible story scare the knockoff Marshmallow Mateys cereal out of you? The truth is that revisiting suffering to find meaning is something we are challenged to do as we recount the suffering of God's people over and over in the Bible. He gave us so many specific stories to help us see him more clearly, to ask where he was and who he is during the pain. A straight line wouldn't allow us to see our need for God's mercy and his tender guidance as we brave our tenuous journey. Each place, each stop on the way is necessary and never wasted. I'll give you lots of examples so you won't have to do this alone. God left us breadcrumbs along the way because he knew we would get lost. Those breadcrumbs are things that you are naturally good at, skills you've learned, and weird things that make you, you. The suffering, the obstacles, the experiences, the relationships, the joys, and the mundane. I want you to see those things as a way to transform those you influence, those right in front of you. Many of us believe the false narrative in which we have to have a big audience to make a real impact. The truth is that Jesus taught that every single person we encounter is important. Perhaps it's your children. Perhaps it's your neighborhood or the elementary school where you volunteer. Maybe you're an entrepreneur with 5 employees or a CEO with 500. Maybe it's a friend group or college sorority. You're knitting with cat hair group. With God, nothing is wasted. Every single situation is on purpose. If we believe that, we would see our lives differently. We would start paying attention to each detail and looking back for the breadcrumbs that have been there all along. We don't know where our faithfulness will end up. We only know that God asks us to be faithful to his calling on our lives, right on the path he's mapped for us. The first time I spoke about breadcrumbs to a large audience, my goal was to give those 40,000 listeners in the audience a new pair of glasses. Pro tip, if you imagine everyone naked and wearing glasses, it will make you more nervous, not less. So I did everything I could to get their attention. You know, dance, wear armpit pads, mess up my PowerPoint, the usual speaker stuff. And show what I was good at. Selling an idea, and not so good at following the rules. I was not going to let them leave that auditorium without knowing that everything and anything could be used for their good if they had a new perspective. Let me tell you what my treasure map looks like, where I got lost along the way, and how the breadcrumbs helped me find my way. Then I'll guide you to do some reflective work to make sense of your own treasure map. You'll have to look back. You'll have to look forward. You'll have to do some digging and get a little dirty. Wait, are we about to discover the next hidden city or a cluster of dinosaur bones? My inner 6-year-old is excited about this. You'll even have to pay attention to some things you've long ignored. But what you'll discover will confirm who you are and who you are meant to be. Keep in mind that my map won't look like yours, and it shouldn't. My biggest hope is that you gain so much confidence in what God has done in your life and where he's taking you that you change your family, school, neighborhood, city, and the world for the gospel of Christ. Author's note, I hope you're slow clapping at this point because I just yelled that last sentence. The stories from my life will be the flashlight to shine on the breadcrumbs that God has left for you on all parts of your journey. Where you've been, part 1. Where you are, part 2. Where you want to go, part 3. My goal is to help you realize that nothing is wasted. Where you are today is the very place you're supposed to be. In fact, this must be the place. Following your breadcrumbs. If you're like me, chances are that you've found your identity in many roles outside of God's child. I remember when I got the results from a genetic test that told me all sorts of quirky things, one being that I was built as a power athlete. Go ahead and laugh. My friends who are true athletes sure do. But I did always wonder why I could catch a diaper thrown across the room easily, or why I could beat everyone at cornhole without any practice. Try me, I will crush you. Growing up, though, I was told I wasn't good at sports because I was super short, didn't have the money to start sports early, and had a hard time paying attention. So I stopped trying and started believing I'm no good. My genetics say otherwise. Sometimes that's how we walk around too. God says we are made uniquely and wildly loved and accepted, but we walk around wondering who we are and if we have a place at the table.